Welcome to the Rewriting Naruto series part 42, a series of videos where I rewrite Naruto making changes to improve the story for my personal taste. Everyone make sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel to support the series. Let's try to reach 4,000 likes just for the heck of it, and ring the notification bell so you always know when the rewrites come out. Also, there's a new function on YouTube now which is called hype. You can hype videos, the button should be around the subscribe, like button as well. So if you really like the rewrite series, hype the series up so that we can reach more people, spread the word around, and that way you support me as well. And I really want to know if a lot of people hype the same video, that video is gonna like be on the recommended page or something like that. It would be really cool, and I mean it would help me out as well, so I appreciate it. Now let's get going. Jiraiya Kado's dark lenses observed the night sky above the Leaf Village when a flash popped into existence above it. A bright yellow flare that looked like a miniature sun. It reflected on the dark lens of the mercenary leader, and he knew that was the signal. It would take some time for him and the whole army to reach Leaf Village, but as the copy ninja commanded, if they stayed together, they would wipe out any possible resistance. "Attention!" he screamed to the army, which was posted and ready to go. "We go together! And we take what's ours once we reach the leaf. After me, man!" Yoroi broke into a run. He didn't move as fast as he could, as many of the mercenaries were not shinobi and couldn't move at such high speeds, but they all advanced towards the village. The noise of 5,000 men moving and shouting at once was colossal. They marched as this human infection, spreading through the forest, but ready to strike and destroy their true target, the Leaf Village. Sakura's hands were drenched in blood. She touched Jiraiya's chest and pumped as much healing ninjutsu into it as she could. The green chakra entered Jiraiya's wound, but it was just too deep. His right lung was destroyed, and the worst part was that Kakashi-sensei had done it. Someone had to be controlling him. Naruto had tackled him through the window, and they fell down all the way into the hospital courtyard. Could Naruto do it? Could he even beat Kakashi-sensei? Wind blew through the shattered window into the room. It was on the last floor of the hospital tower. Another medic ninja entered the room. "Sakura, what's happening? Someone's controlling Kakashi-sensei. He attacked Lord Jiraiya with our Ikiri. I'm trying to administer first aid, but we need to prepare another healing resuscitation ritual, or he won't survive. Be quick about it. Prepare it now." "But he just went through one. The strain alone will kill him. Can't you see his wound?" The medic ninja turned around to rush and deliver Sakura's orders, but Kakashi slashed his neck with a kunai, appearing out of nowhere, killing the medic instantly. "Sakura, step away from Jiraiya, and you won't get hurt." "What? He left the shadow clone hidden in the hallway? Sensei, please, listen to me! Wake up! This isn't you!" "Move, Sakura." Down below in the hospital courtyard, Kakashi stared at Naruto with his Mangekyo Sharingan activated. He dashed at him, who in turn weaved the Shadow Clone hand sign. Multi-Shadow Clone Jutsu! 1,000 clones formed, covering the entire courtyard and surrounding Kakashi. Naruto formed a wall of clones in front of his original, before Kakashi could hit him. Instead, Kakashi punched through them, destroying a dozen clones with a fluid taijutsu motion. "Sensei, fight back! Don't let him do this to you!" "I already told you I'm not being controlled. failed, Kakashi said, and continued his taijutsu assault, dropping shadow clone after shadow clone. Naruto couldn't touch him with his taijutsu. Even though he had improved a lot, Kakashi's Sharingan prowess and sheer speed were just too much. Not even attacking him from all sides seemed to have any effect. It doesn't matter how many clones you make, I know all your techniques. Kakashi destroyed even more clones, punching, kicking, elbowing. Naruto tried to pull taijutsu combinations, but Kakashi saw through them and countered with faster and more precise blows, using the clones' own moves against them. Some clones tried to dash up the tower to help Sakura with Pervy Sage and serve as bodyguards, but Kakashi intercepted them with pinpoint water attacks, spitting thin water droplets that destroy the clones, or he even attacked them mid-air. That is why Kakashi was famous worldwide. Naruto never really understood before he had to fight him for real. That's okay, Sensei. I'll get away from him. I won't heal him anymore, Sakura said in the tower above as Kakashi pointed a kunai at her. She stood up, taking her hands off of Jiraiya's bloody chest, and moved back. Kakashi approached the wounded man who laid on the bed that used to be white and it was now drenched red. He raised the kunai. Why, Kakashi? Kakashi said nothing. He swung the kunai down, but a dark, ethereal body manifested itself between Kakashi and Jiraiya, blocking the attack. Kakashi-sensei, you dumbass! Sakura's avatar shouted and grappled Kakashi's arms. The real Sakura dashed from behind and punched Kakashi in the back. He puffed into white smoke and disappeared. It was indeed a shadow clone. Sakura immediately went back to healing Jiraiya. Sakura, there's something wrong, I think. Lord Jiraiya, save your strength. We must trust Naruto will solve this problem. I have to heal you now. You can't die here. Down in the courtyard, Kakashi received the destroyed Shadow Clone intel as he kept on destroying more of Naruto's clones, who in turn created more Shadow Clones to replenish the fallen. Several clones created more Shadow Clones from Naruto, so that Kakashi couldn't pinpoint the original. So my Shadow Clone failed. It's my fault for wanting to spare Sakura. She would be a useful tool in the new age, but if Jiraiya doesn't die tonight, my efforts will be in vain. Kakashi thought destroying more clones. I have to trust Sakura will keep Pervy Sage alive, but I also have to delay Kakashi long enough for reinforcements to arrive. Still, he's too tough. My clones, they can't even scratch him, but I have to keep on making them. If he uses his mangekyo, my original, I'm so done. The original Naruto thought, watching Kakashi dispose of dozens of clones in the blink of an eye. Naruto hid himself behind some of his own clones and weaved hand signs, summoning the tiny Chisaikichi. There's no time to explain, but hide yourself in my clothes and dispel any Genjutsu put under, okay, Chisaikichi? Roger, Chisaikichi said, jumping inside of Naruto's shirt. Kakashi-sensei, please, just listen. This doesn't make sense! Stop fighting! A clone said and got immediately kicked and destroyed. I will never stop. You'll have to kill me before that. I won't see this village fall into decadence. Shinobi who don't follow the rules must be eliminated. Scum like you is what this village needs to get rid of. Letting your emotions show at all moments. Following your own desires instead of the village directives. That's why the Akatsuki will destroy us. Are you insane? This is the exact opposite of what you taught us! Another clone said before he was destroyed. Naruto remembered Kakashi telling them that a ninja who doesn't follow the rules is scum, but a ninja that abandons his friends is worse than scum. You're killing your friends, your comrades. Think, Kakashi-sensei. I thought this was a genjutsu. But Kakashi-sensei wouldn't fall for it with his Sharingan, and he was right. The hit of the fall would have broken him out too. Maybe he's not Kakashi-sensei. Maybe he's just a transformation jutsu. No, that doesn't make sense. If he was somebody transformed, then he wouldn't be able to use the Raikiri, except for Sasuke, I guess. So maybe it's a mind control jutsu? Something like what Ino can do? Naruto remembered Sakura fighting off Ino's influence back in the Chunin exams. Naruto had helped Sakura fight back. He gave her motivation. He gave Sakura something to attach herself to fight with. If it is mind control, I just have to reach out to Kakashi-sensei and make him remember what he fights for. Don't let this darkness consume you, Kakashi-sensei! Remember what he told us in the bell test! Why you made us ninjas! I was a fool, but my eyes are open now, Naruto. So you'll kill me for following your lessons? I would prefer not to. You're the son of a shinobi I respected very much, and the vessel of the Nine Tails, but if you don't step aside, I will do what I must. Kakashi kept on assaulting the clones. Another clone who wasn't directly in the melee, but a few meters behind Kakashi weaved hand signs. Wind style! Power vacuum! He sucked air into his lungs, creating an area of low pressure that pulled Kakashi towards him. Several other clones jumped up, tossing shurikens shurikens at Kakashi and weaved hand signs at the same time. "Shuriken Shadow Clone Jutsu!" they all said. The dozens of shurikens flying at Kakashi turned into thousands, forcing Kakashi to weave a seal midair. His skin turned dark, and Kakashi made no effort to dodge the incoming shurikens. Thousands of them hit Kakashi's body from all sides, but they didn't pierce him at all. Rather, they created a cacophony of sounds that resembled metal hitting stone. Once Kakashi was pulled in by the power vacuum, he hit the clone, destroying it, and the thousands of shurikens fell on the ground after hitting him harmlessly. "I knew Cox's diamond skin would eventually be useful," Kakashi said as his skin turned back to normal. "I just have to be careful with that jutsu though. It spends a lot of chakra," he thought. "But at least to begin to follow one of my lessons, one that's still valid, to attack with killing intent." "I don't want to kill you," Naruto said. It was true, but he remembered himself saying the exact same words to Hiyashi yesterday before killing him. No, he couldn't kill Kakashi-sensei. He would find a way around it. "I won't do it, sensei! I'll wake you up!" "And that is why you'll fail." Kakashi jumped up above the clones in the courtyard, weaving signs. Lightning style. Flash pillar. Kakashi discharged lightning around his body and blinding light exploded from him. He hovered above the Shadow Clone army, and the entire crowd of clones squint their eyes. But that jutsu wasn't just a blinding distraction. It was a subtle genjutsu he copied from a cloud ninja long ago. It affected anyone that looked at the light. And after the target saw the flash, Kakashi could implant false images in their heads. Kakashi made all the clones see himself falling back down, away from the tower, and created an opening for his real self. While the clones thought they were fighting the real Kakashi, he would kill Jiraiya. Kakashi landed in an empty spot in the courtyard and jumped again, very high this time. Heading straight to the window, Naruto tackled him through and weaved hand signs. Sakura kept on healing Jiraiya. She didn't want to move Jiraiya's position because she didn't know what was happening down below. She could only hear the sounds of battle. Besides, Jiraiya was too hurt to even be moved anywhere. And if she stopped healing anymore, Jiraiya could die. Other medic ninjas had entered the room asking about what was happening, and Sakura requested the ritual to them instead. They took the body of the dead medic away. Luckily for them, it appeared that Kakashi had no more shadow clones implanted into the building. Still, it should be about time for Jonin's and Anbu members to arrive at the scene and assist Naruto into subduing Kakashi-sensei. And from what Sakura could hear, it was only Naruto and his clones doing the fighting. But then, a wave of shock struck Sakura when she saw Kakashi just outside of the shattered window, looking straight at Jiraiya with his red eye. He must have jumped up there, and he held the tiger hand seal. Kakashi was going to explode this room with a fire-style jutsu. Sakura wouldn't be able to block something that large. Even with her inner self manifestation, she couldn't tank hits from all sides. And in the state he was right now, Jiraiya would die if it took any more attacks. Where was Naruto? Did he lose the fight? Kakashi breathed in deeply, ready to shoot fire into them. Sakura wouldn't be able to reach Kakashi-sensei in time in order to counter his jutsu before he released it. It was over. Jiraiya would die, and Sakura probably would as well. Killed by Kakashi. Fire style. Majestic Rasengan! Naruto appeared, landing a Rasengan straight into Kakashi's chest, saving Sakura. Kakashi beamed down in a diagonal line before he could even use his fire-style jutsu, dragged by the Rasengan's chakra vortex, and he hit the courtyard with a chakra explosion as Naruto watched from above. Naruto looked at Sakura and gave her a curt nod through the shattered window and dashed back down. Ash and smoke surrounded a small crater the Rasengan impact created. The clone army was dispelled out of the genjutsu and realized they were fighting against a phantom. But a fireball erupted out of the cloud of ash, bursting towards the tower right where Jiraiya and Sakura were. Naruto weaved hand seals as he landed in the courtyard. Wind style! Wind dragon! He spat a long wind dragon from his mouth, which flew upwards and bit into the fireball, intercepting it midair. The two jutsus exploded, shattering the other windows in the hospital room as Sakura put her body in front of Jiraiya's to absorb the shockwave. The cloud of ash and smoke dissipated, revealing Kakashi, who stood tall in the middle of the small crater. His leaf vest and undergarments were torn in the shape of a large circle in the chest, and his skin was dark, but undamaged. He managed to release Cox's diamond skin a split second before Naruto landed a Rasengan, withstanding the jutsu, suffering only cosmetic damage. Damn it, that jutsu's so annoying! And if Chisaikichi didn't break that genjutsu, Pervy Sage would be dead right now. He only has one charge though. I have to be careful. If I fall for another genjutsu, I'm done. I must admit, I didn't think he would be able to break free of that genjutsu so fast and even manage to sneak up on me. But now I know who's the original, Kakashi said, igniting a Raikiri, and his skin returned to the regular color. The army of shadow clones dashed at Kakashi, disoriented after the genjutsu, but the copy ninja was faster. He reached Naruto and pierced his heart with a lightning blade, but that Naruto disappeared as well. So that one was a shadow clone too. Kakashi re-engaged the army of clones and continued to dispose of them. After Chisaikichi broke the original Naruto from the Flash Pillar Genjutsu, Naruto created another clone that was not affected by it. They ran up the hospital tower wall on the opposite side so that the tower itself would cover them from Kakashi's view, and the original was the one who helped the clone to form the Rasengan's rotation. So the clone was the one who hit Kakashi with the jutsu, while the original Naruto remained at the tower to protect Jiraiya and Sakura just in case. He stood on the rooftop, peeking into the fight below, and also at Sakura healing Pervy Sage. He felt his heart drop seeing his master in that state, but he had to focus despite the desperate situation. Sakura, should I take us somewhere else? It's dangerous here, Naruto whispered. She didn't look at Naruto, focusing all her resolve on Jiraiya. We can't move him now. Other medic ninjas are preparing a healing ritual in the main hospital building, but I have to stabilize him before that. And if he moves too much, then he's gonna lose a lot of blood and die. Can he make it, Sakura? Can you save him? He's unconscious now, and it'll be difficult, but I think we have a chance. We just can't move him now. I have to keep on healing. I could summon Chief Toad, and you could heal him inside of his mouth, and then Chief Toad himself can take us out of here. Why don't you just send some of your clones for reinforcements? Nobody has arrived yet. I tried to send them, but every time my clones get away from the hospital, they are destroyed, and I can't even see who's doing it. Maybe Kakashi-sensei has some clones of his own, making a perimeter or something. Send a large pack, and summon the big Toad. There's something really wrong. This place should be teeming with Leaf ninjas. It's in the heart of the village. Alright, but I have to focus a lot of chakra to summon Chief Toad, and it's gonna take some time, especially after I used so many shadow clones. Over half of the shadow clone army had been destroyed in the courtyard, but a group of 10 clones detached themselves and made a run for the Hokage's office. However, once they got about 50 meters away from the hospital, they were paralyzed and destroyed. A masked Anbu member came out of the shadows. As tiny, almost invisible insects, they were dispersed, coalesced back, and entered his Anbu robes. He looked up to the top of a tall building where another masked Anbu stood and gave him a nod. That Anbu observed the fight between Naruto and Kakashi from above. He had a clear view of the hospital in the courtyard. The masked Anbu weaved a hand seal and reached out to his master. Lord Danzo, the copy ninja, began his attack. He struck Jiraiya and launched the signal. He's now fighting Naruto Uzumaki. Is Jiraiya dead? Danzo reached back into his mind. Not yet, but his chakra is faint. He'll probably die soon, and the copy ninja is doing everything he can to finish him. As per my command. Should we interfere though? What if the Jinchuriki dies? What if the copy ninja kills him? That won't be such a great loss. If the Nine Tails dies with him, that will at least delay the Akatsuki's plans. If he doesn't die, I will control him tomorrow. What matters now is for Kakashi to kill Jiraiya and then die afterwards. But should we still do it ourselves if Kakashi fails? Only if he dies or is incapacitated. For now, just make sure the rest of the village is not aware of anything. Yes, my lord. The chakra counter barrier we created around the hospital perimeter is blocking the chakra signature and the sounds of the fight. Torune is making sure the Jinchuriki's clones can't leave the barrier, and Delta Squadron is using their genjutsu to divert civilians away from the hospital as well as other ninjas. And they're also making sure nobody else leaves the hospital to seek help. Good. Connect me to the Grand Battalion Fu. I wish to know their status. Fu weaved hand seals, establishing a mind link between Danzo and Itoji, the leader of the Grand Battalion, which was positioned in an underground alcove in the northeast side of the village. Itoji, are your men ready to intercept the army? Yes, my lord. They should be here in about 12 minutes, judging by when the flare was launched. Good. Make sure they are seen and that they do some damage to the village. But deal with them swiftly and decisively. Only collect a handful of prisoners. Yes, Lord Danzo. Naruto finished molding enough chakra, but Kakashi destroyed the entire Shadow Clone army, and he was heading up to the tower to kill Pervy Sage. Sakura kept on healing, and Naruto had to decide what to do, and fast. Damn it, the clones I sent out didn't make it again, and Kakashi-sensei is coming for us. If I summon Chief Toad now, Kakashi-sensei can do damage to him, and we won't be fast enough to put Pervy Sage into his mouth. I have to make more clones instead to distract him. Then do it! But I can't do it, Sakura, I can't kill him! You'll find a way around it, idiot! I trust you, just do it! Naruto nodded. Multi-shadow clone jutsu! An army of shadow clones manifested itself on the hospital tower. They stood up on the wall, using chakra to glue their feet into it, and the massive number of clones painted the round tower orange. They attacked Kakashi, who was running up the tower, and a vertical melee battle ensued. Kakashi punched through the clones, trying to reach Jiraiya's room. He's gonna get here eventually. My clones can't touch him, and he copied a new jutsu that makes my Rasengan useless, Naruto told Sakura, looking at Jiraiya's bloody chest. You have to subdue him somehow then. He can't reach this room, Naruto. If Lord Jiraiya takes any more damage, I won't be able to do anything. Right. Well, hopefully that jutsu will do enough damage to break the stone skin, but not enough damage to kill him. It's the only choice I have, Naruto said, as two of his clones jumped into the room. Naruto began to form a Rasengan with the help of the two clones. It was white, imbued with wind-style chakra. The bright vortex emitted a powerful, shrill sound that made Sakura shiver. Naruto received an influx of information from the clones that Kakashi was destroying on the exterior of the tower to make his way to the room. He was getting close. Naruto looked around and realized there were 4 shattered windows in the room, so Kakashi could in theory emerge from any of them, or even cut through a wall if he wanted to. But with the clone intel, he would know where Kakashi would appear from, and then he could prepare his vector of attack. The two clones finished preparing the wind-style Rasengan and positioned themselves behind the original. They weaved hand signs and waited for Kakashi to appear. With the clones getting destroyed on the outer wall, Naruto predicted the window Kakashi would get to, and before he was even visible, the two clones behind Naruto released a powerful gust of wind that propelled him with his Rasengan forward, darting through the air towards that window where Kakashi would eventually be. When Kakashi appeared, Naruto was already at him, thrusting the Rasengan forward. Rasengan! Kakashi's Mangekyo flickered to the white sphere of chakra. Kamui! As Naruto was about to land the Rasengan, a swirling distortion in space with a dark center formed within the vortex and siphoned it out of existence. Naruto's wind-style Rasengan disappeared, but he still had his momentum created by the gust of wind, which he used to once again tackle Kakashi off the tower. For the second time, they plummeted together, but now, because of Naruto's speed, they fell in a much more horizontal descent. Before they hit the ground, Kakashi swirled his body backwards and kicked Naruto with both feet midair at the opposite direction of the hospital tower. Naruto landed far away from the hospital, hitting the ground and rolling for a dozen meters while Kakashi landed on his feet, sliding to slow himself down. He was much closer to the tower than Naruto. I spent much more chakra than I thought I would have to. I must finish this fight now, Kakashi thought, creating a shadow clone. Both the original and the shadow clone ignited Araikiri and charged at the incoming army of shadow clones that jumped off the tower. They clashed, and the two Kakashis were lightning blurs that cut through the army as lightning itself cut through the sky, destroying rows upon rows of shadow clones with a lightning discharge. The original Naruto stood up and ran towards Kakashi, but he wouldn't be fast enough. Some of Naruto's clones remained on top of the tower, near Jiraiya's room, to protect him and Sakura, but Kakashi ignored that section of the tower. Instead, both himself and the clone coordinated the run and aligned themselves, each at an opposite side of the round tower. Lightning cable! A string of lightning connected the two Raikiris, cutting clones in half until Kakashi reached the base of the tower. His jutsu sliced through the concrete, which offered no resistance at all, and they cut through the entire extension of the tower base. The floor beneath Sakura tilted as the tower began to slide off the section where Kakashi cut, plummeting down slowly but absolutely. Sakura, jump! The clones that were still in the tower shouted, getting into the room through the broken windows and dispersed through the falling tower hallways. Sakura grabbed Jiraiya's unconscious body and she jumped with him out of the room through one of the shattered windows. The original Naruto saw Sakura exiting the falling tower and jumped inside of it. Himself and his clones rushed into the hospital rooms in the tower to take patients out before it collapsed completely. He had to save these people. Sakura landed far from the tower, carrying Jiraiya, in time to see several Naruto shadow clones breaking the fallen tower walls with Rasengans and emerging from it, carrying hospital patients a split second before the long building hit the hospital courtyard with a thunderous impact. The whole tower shattered, lifting up dust and debris free. Kakashi emerged from the underground right at the place where Sakura laid Jiraiya down. She managed to pull him out of there before Kakashi slashed at him with his kunai, but a shadow clone of Kakashi emerged from behind Sakura and stabbed her left thigh deeply. The kunai pierced her muscle and she felt a sharp pain. Sakura punched back, destroying that clone, but she dropped Jiraiya, who rolled away from her. She couldn't move fast enough towards him because of her leg. The real Kakashi tossed a kunai with a paper bomb attached to it towards Jiraiya's fallen body. Sakura then weaved seals and manifested her inner self in front of Jiraiya, intercepting the kunai. She then moved the avatar towards Kakashi, exploding the paper bomb away from Jiraiya. But Kakashi circumvented the avatar using his speed and dashed at the fallen Sannin. The original Naruto saw that from afar. He laid down a wounded patient he saved from the crashing tower and dashed towards the fight, leaving the tower debris behind. Sakura healed her thigh enough so that she could move better and intercepted Kakashi before he hit Jiraiya, but Kakashi swung at her. Sakura took a deep kunai slash to her chest instead of Jiraiya, which splashed a thick string of blood on the ground. The avatar grabbed Kakashi from behind and dragged him away as Sakura fell down next to Jiraiya, spitting blood. That kunai, it was poisoned. It's paralyzing me. I can't go unconscious or my inner self will vanish. I have to immobilize Kakashi with it. Sakura's avatar kept on dragging Kakashi away, holding his hand so that he couldn't weave hand signs. But Kakashi didn't have to weave them. Instead, he looked at Jiraiya's head with his Mangekyo Sharingan. The swirling spatial distortions began to form around it. The dark spots centered in the middle of Jiraiya's forehead. No! Naruto screamed. He ran towards Kakashi as fast as he could, but he was too far. He wouldn't have time. A memory flash crossed Naruto's mind. He remembered what that very jutsu did to that Akatsuki member who used explosions. It severed his arm. Kakashi had missed a shot. He aimed for the head but couldn't snipe it because the target was moving and made it difficult to aim. Besides, Kakashi was just using the jutsu for the first time. He had more experience now, and Jiraiya was standing completely still. Naruto weaved hand signs. That jutsu wasn't finished, but it was his only option to stop the Mangekyo Sharingan, the sealing jutsu he had been training. He prepared it. Yellow chakra formed a swirling glyph on his palm, and he pointed it at Kakashi, but the glyphs flashed and popped out of existence. The jutsu didn't complete itself. Naruto couldn't form all the sealing glyphs. He needed more training, and now Jiraiya would die. But another memory flashed in his mind. A memory when he was training with Pervy Sage, away from the village, and he had arrived late to train Naruto in a morning training session. You're late, Pervy Sage! You told me to be here 3 hours ago! I swear, I bet Kakashi-sensei learned it from you. Oh, don't compare my tardiness with Kakashi's. What, are you telling me you have a good reason to be late? Nope, not at all. I was at a pleasure house. I knew it! All you idiots, you just do whatever you want! You're wrong, Naruto. Kakashi has a good reason to be late. Huh? If you don't know the reason, it's probably because he doesn't want you to. But I'll tell you if you promise me not to tell anybody else. Sakura's vision began to tunnel. She was about to pass out, but she steeled herself. She had to keep pushing Kakashi away. The avatar couldn't twist Kakashi to turn his view from Jiraiya because of Kakashi's own resistance, but she had to keep trying. Jiraiya's head was almost completely distorted. The Kamui had almost sucked it in. Kamui is much slower on living targets, but it doesn't matter. Even if Sakura's ethereal avatar keeps on dragging me away, I won't break eye contact. He will die. Kakashi thought. Remember Obito, Kakashi-sensei! Remember what he told you that day! Don't let Pervy Sage die! Don't repeat your own mistakes! You swore you wouldn't let your comrades die! You promised him, and then you promised me! An image flooded Kakashi's mind after Naruto's words. Rin, spitting blood on him, dying in his arms. Everywhere was drenched in blood. Obito, crushed by a rock. Minato-sensei, dead. Kushina, dead. His own father, dead. Something in Kakashi's mind snapped. He immediately closed his left eye a split second before Kamui was completed. The space distortions vanished at once and Jiraiya's head returned to normal. Kakashi felt a mix of emotions. Shame, confusion, fear, and relief. Up until a second ago, he had utter conviction on his actions. He knew that Jiraiya and other ninjas like him had to be eliminated. Almost as if he had never met Obito. Almost as if he had continued to be the way he was prior to Obito's death, but only he turned much worse. However, Naruto's words snapped him back to reality. That wasn't normal genjutsu, or even mind control. It had to be something else, something far more powerful and sinister. Sakura passed out next to Jiraiya, and her avatar fizzled out. "Kakashi-sensei, are you back?" Naruto asked, getting close to him. Kakashi felt his knees, looking around himself, feeling shock, and a tear dropped from his Mangekyo Sharingan eye. Naruto had never seen Kakashi-sensei shed a tear. "Sensei!" Naruto touched his shoulder. "I'm sorry, Naruto. I don't know what happened." A tear of joy escaped Naruto's eye, and he hugged Kakashi. "I'm glad you're back. We have to save previous agent Sakura now." Kakashi stood up, trying to forget his shock. He ran towards Sakura, pulling a small syringe from his satchel and injected a fluid into her. "Antidote. My Kuna was poisoned. We have to take her to the hospital. They're really badly hurt." "I'll do it, Naruto. You have to do something else if you still have chakra, because I'm depleted," Kakashi said, falling back on his knee, feeling the side effect of his Mangekyo Sharingan usage. "What is it?" "I don't know why or how I know it. I just do. There's an army of mercenaries, 5,000 strong. They will attack the Leaf Village coming from the northeast side. We don't have time. They're attacking it right now. Rush there. Warn as many ninjas on your way there as you can." Naruto didn't even question Kakashi. He nodded and rushed away towards where the army was coming from. "Lord Danzo, it seems the copy ninja was broken out." Fu sent a telepathic message, looking at Kakashi as he dragged Jiraiya and Sakura to the main hospital building. "Impossible. I used 3 charges on him." It appears that Jinchuriki managed to do it. Kakashi is weakened though. He can barely stay up and has no chakra left. "Then kill him and Jiraiya." "But there's something else, my lord. I think Kakashi warned the Jinchuriki about the army's attack. He somehow fooled Delta Squadron and is heading to where the mercenaries will appear. They couldn't stop him." "The army should almost be at the village, shouldn't it? Contact the Grand Battalion. Order them to intercept the Jinchuriki and any possible reinforcements." Fu reached out to Itoji, the Grand Battalion Lord, but he couldn't find him. He then tried other members of the Grand Battalion. One by one, Fu couldn't contact them. "Lord Danzo, the Grand Battalion, I can't reach any of them." "How can this be?" "There are only a few explanations. They're either over 50 kilometers away, sealed, or dead. If the Grand Battalion was taken out of commission, then they won't be able to stop the mercenaries, and they will ravage the village. Fu, drop everything. Go to the northeast side. I will meet you there with my retinue. Perhaps we can still salvage this." "What if the copy ninja and Jiraiya?" "Leave them for now." "Do you know what happened, sir?" "No, I do not." 6 minutes earlier, Battalion Lord Itoji waited with his 30 men to spring their trap on the invading army of mercenaries. Thin rays of the full moon hit their Root Anbu masks as they passed the small gaps on the ceiling above. The underground alcove they were in was in the middle of a block of houses, an unsuspected spot for ninjas to be hiding on. And Itoji was impressed with Lord Danzo's plan, baiting the Hokage into leaving the village for an extended period of time so that she wouldn't be present to interfere, then forcing the copy ninja to assassinate Jiraiya and get himself killed or captured in the process, eliminating the 2 most dangerous Leaf ninjas and natural successors to the current Hokage, all the while orchestrating a mock invasion, leading the invading army into thinking Kakashi was commanding them to take over the village while he assassinated Jiraiya. This would incriminate Kakashi and take the blame away from the Root. The people from the Leaf Village, as well as the feudal lord, will believe Kakashi was behind the coup attempt, and when we, the Root Anbu, take care of the invading army threat, Lord Danzo will have legitimacy to take over the village as the new Hokage. When the previous regime failed, he will emerge as the savior of this village, and the old legacy of the Will of Fire will rot and die, having a direct pupil of the 4th Hokage attempting a coup, and the 5th Hokage being too far away, distracted by her drinking to stop it. We will then assassinate the 5th Hokage on her trip back from the land of crystals and make it seem it was the Akatsuki's doing, leaving no loose ends. And to top it all off, the mercenary army is composed of the majority of wanted criminals and crooks from the land of fire, which will all die tonight, cleansing our land of disorder and degeneracy. A flawless, elegant plan which Lord Danzo had been orchestrating ever since the Jinchuriki returned to the village in order to protect the village itself, the land of fire, and the world from the Akatsuki threat, and also from the foolish ideology of the Will of Fire. Danzo was the only man capable of halting the destruction of their civilization. A loud cry came from the hideout door entrance, which was located on the wall 5 meters above the ground level. You had to jump in order to get down. There was no ladder or stairs. This alcove was designed to hide shinobi in. But that door was cracked open. Nobody was supposed to do that. Did someone track them here? The only ones who were supposed to know about their location were Root Anbu members. An Anbu member appeared on the door above. The full moon engulfed him as he overlooked the Root battalion. Even though he had his mask on, Itoji could tell he wasn't nervous at all. And that mask, it wasn't from the Root Anbu. He was a regular Anbu. Damn it, we're compromised. The lone Anbu jumped down, closing the door behind him, and dropped to the ground where the battalion stood. Brave of you to come here alone, Itoji said. Finding rats can be rather difficult, but once you do, disposing of them is simply a matter of choosing the method of extermination. We have no time to entertain you. The Anbu beheaded Itoji with a kunai. His speed was ludicrous. The slash sprayed blood on the Root Anbu members close to Itoji. I intended on asking you of Danzo's whereabouts, but rats always flock to the corpses of their own kin, not for a sense of closure, but sustenance, the Anbu said with a nearly calm voice. Naruto jumped from rooftop to rooftop as fast as he could, going towards the northeast side of the village. He summoned Blind Frog to spit a massive cloud of smoke and hide himself from whoever was destroying his clones. And then Naruto used the speed he learned from Bushy Brown to escape the hospital perimeter, and told Blind Frog to warn as many people as he could about the incoming invasion. He wanted to get to the village wall as quickly as possible to see the army arriving and protect the village. He sent about a dozen of his shadow clones in different directions, yelling, "Invasion at the northeast side! We need reinforcements now!" Trusting Kakashi Sensei's instructions. About 30 other Leaf Ninjas jumped around close to him, following Naruto, having heard about what was going on. Many of them seemed skeptical, but they had at least some degree of trust in Naruto. After all, he's been doing some tough missions lately, and rumors spread fast, especially about the Jinchuriki of the village. Naruto could recognize a few of the ninjas that followed him. Yugao, the girl whose body Naruto inhabited, and Shino's dad. Naruto didn't know his name. Iruka Sensei then joined the dashing shinobis. "Naruto, what's going on?" Iruka asked. He wore civilian clothes and was probably off duty tonight. "I just know there's an army of 5,000 that's going to attack from the northeast. This probably has something to do with that flare I saw earlier." "Yeah, I think you're right, but we can't let them get into the village." "I know, but stay close to me, okay? This is gonna be dangerous. 5,000 is a crazy number." The village wall came into view, and a Hyuga member that Naruto remembered from last night joined the crowd as well. He was from the main family, one of the guys who almost attacked Naruto after he punched Hiyashi's dad. His Byakugan was activated. "He's telling the truth. A massive army is coming from that direction. They're about 400 meters away from the wall," the Hyuga shouted. "Listen up! Once we reach the wall, we must hold it and use it as leverage. It's the only way to fight at such a numbers disadvantage. We have to hold the wall until more reinforcements arrive," Yugao yelled. "Naruto, stay close to me and follow my instructions, alright?" Iruka said, looking worried. "Iruka-sensei, I can take care of myself." "You're still a genin, Naruto. You shouldn't even be here. But you have to obey me, okay? It's the chain of command." Naruto nodded reluctantly, but that calmed Iruka down. "You look roughed up already, and your clothes are all bloody. What happened?" "I'll tell you later over a bowl of Ichiraku ramen." Fu, Tarune, and Delta Squadron, which was composed of 4 genjutsu specialists, met with Danzo and 3 other Root members that were serving as his bodyguards. They were also jumping on the Leaf Village rooftops, going towards the northeast side, but were about 200 meters away from Naruto and the rest of the party. "My lord, I can sense more ninjas flocking to this location. The mercenary army won't do as much damage with so many ninjas fighting it back, especially when they don't have the element of surprise. Many of them aren't even shinobi. They need only do enough damage in order for myself to take control. We still have the corrosion seal imprinted on them all. We can take care of them and be seen as the heroes of this village. Delta Squadron, use your genjutsu to stop reinforcements from arriving at the scene. The more mercenaries we slay ourselves, the better for our cause. The better for this village." "What about the Grand Battalion?" "We'll see about them later." Naruto and the now 40 shinobi who accompanied him jumped up the village wall. Members of the wall guard joined them as well, and alarm bells began to ring. This section of the wall was unguarded. The bell should have rang long ago. There's something fishy going on, Iruka thought, looking at Naruto. But if it wasn't for him, things could have been much worse. They heard the sounds of the incoming army. They screamed and ran towards the village from within the forest. Naruto, do you have a weapon? Iruka asked. He didn't have his shinobi gear after all. Naruto grabbed a kunai from his satchel and threw it to his old sensei. They exchanged a nod. If anything happens to me, I want you to run, alright? I want you to save yourself. I would never leave anyone behind. Especially you, Iruka sensei. Promise me, Naruto. It's 5,000 enemies, Iruka said, when thousands of kunais, arrows, shurikens, and long-distance ninjutsu were thrown at them on top of the village wall. They took cover behind the wall crenellations as the long-distance attacks created a chaotic cacophony of striking sounds and explosions. Iruka took a kunai to his shoulder and dropped down, clutching his wound. It pierced him deeply. Sensei! Naruto yelled, kneeling next to him. I'm alright. Naruto, you have to leave. It's too dangerous here. I have to take you to the hospital. No, I will fight. But you have to go. I can't take care of this wound myself. Are you crazy? I'm not a kid anymore. I don't have to leave. I told you to follow my orders. You're still a genin. I'm not following your orders tonight because I'm not abandoning anyone, much less you. More attacks pelted the village wall, startling Naruto and prompting the Leaf Ninjas to stay behind cover. Don't worry, Naruto. The leaf walls are sturdy. It would take way more than that to destroy them. I'm worried about you, Naruto said, looking at the bloody kunai. I don't even know what to do. If I remove it, will it bleed more? It's dangerous if you bleed too much. I've had much worse wounds than that. If you're gonna stay, Naruto, then you have to focus. Once they scale the wall, this will become a chaotic battleground. Long-range attacks kept on hitting the wall. But then, Naruto noticed for the first time that several of the projectiles overshot the wall and landed in the village itself, behind it, hitting houses, streets, buildings, and even some distracted civilians. Naruto saw a small girl who got hit in the leg by a crossbow bolt. He then looked at the kunai piercing Iruka sensei's shoulder. Something awoke inside of him. Naruto's face looked severe, angry, but controlled and determined. They are 100 meters away! Prepare yourselves! They'll scale the wall at any moment! The Hyuga shouted as projectiles continued to fly their way. No! What? No, Naruto, you have to focus! You have to obey them! The enemy's gonna be here any moment! Iruka said, looking stern, but Naruto weaved the shadow clone hand sign, ignoring him. No! I am not gonna let them do any harm to my village! Naruto stood up on top of the wall crenellations, holding the shadow clone hand sign. Bright yellow chakra began to flare around him as he focused everything he got into the next jutsu. Are you insane? I command you to come down right now! They're all gonna aim for you! That's the idea. Naruto jumped towards the army and time crystallized as he was in the air. The chakra oozing from him made it seem like he was a beacon of light flying towards an entire army. His chakra aura was so dense that it blocked kunais and shurikens that were flung at him midair, and Naruto stared at the enemy, looking more determined than ever. Yoroi, the mercenary leader, looked at Naruto all by himself, falling down at the army, and smirked. Huh? Just one? This is gonna be easy. Multi-Shadow Clone Jutsu! A massive explosion of white smoke erupted all around Naruto, and an army of shadow clones manifested itself, rivaling the size of the enemy mercenary army. The Leaf Ninjas on top of the wall looked down in awe as an orange tsunami of shadow clones crashed down upon the enemy army. Naruto's army overpowered the enemy front lines. The clones made quick work of the mercenaries, being vastly superior in taijutsu. The orange mass overwhelmed the enemy and advanced upon them relentlessly. The clones were faster, stronger, more skilled, and fought with much more coordination than the mercenaries. They were mowed down, but Naruto tried to avoid lethal strikes. He mostly opted to use raw taijutsu to knock them out. That shouldn't be possible. The theoretical limit for the Shadow Clone Jutsu is 2,000 copies, and that's already an absurd theoretical extrapolation, Iruka said with bulged out eyes. He more than double that. I estimate around 5,000 shadow clones, the Hyuga said, with his Byakugan still activated, looking intently at the clashing armies. Is he using the Nine Tails as chakra? No, I can only see his own chakra. Iruka chuckled, and tears began to stream down his cheeks. He beamed, looking at Minato's face in the Leaf Village Mount. Lord Fourth, are you watching? That's your son over there. That's my student. Danzo and his cohort of 10 Root Anbu members observed Naruto's clones steamrolling their hired army from the top of a tall building. I underestimated him. I should have used the charge on the Jinchuriki prior to the attack. The village was barely even affected. They couldn't even breach the wall. What do we do now, my lord? Fu asked. We lost this battle, but now we need to make sure this fiasco isn't traced back to us. Come with me, all of you. We must discover what happened to the Grand Battalion, Danzo said, looking up as a cloud covered the full moon, casting the village in darkness. Danzo and his retinue arrived at the door that led to the alcove where the battalion was hiding. Fu opened it, and they couldn't see anything inside, for the moonlight was overcast. I don't sense any chakra presence down there, my lord, Fu said as they looked at Danzo, who nodded, and they jumped in. When they landed on the underground floor, the impacts of their fall made a wet noise, and they felt a stickiness on their feet. The wind blew the clouds away, revealing the moon behind them, which shone a beam of light into the underground alcove. Everything was red, covered in fresh blood. The corpses of all battalion members were nailed with kunais on the walls of the alcove. They were mangled, destroyed. A solitary figure stood in the middle of the room. He wore a cloak that used to be black, but now was painted crimson with the blood of the once feared Grand Root Battalion. The figure's back was turned towards Danzo and his retinue. I couldn't sense his chakra at all, Fu said, terror oozing from his voice despite his best efforts. And so the rat comes crawling to the gutter, smelling the blood of a carcass. I warned you about what would happen if you stepped out of line, Danzo, the figure said calmly, turning towards the Root members, showing his once white mask, now drenched in blood. Danzo recoiled back, instantly recognizing the voice. Every single hair in his body was lifted up, and he felt a vacuum in his stomach as a primordial fear took over him. Fu, call every single remaining Root member to this location. All of you, Formation 17, you must buy me time for me to undo the seal on my right arm. It took less than 5 minutes for Naruto to defeat the entire mercenary army. He even sent a section of his shadow clones further into the forest to create a perimeter and capture mercenaries that try to escape. Naruto's clone army now used rope and other implements he found on the mercenaries themselves and that other Leaf ninjas were bringing to him to restrain the bandits. It wasn't a very difficult task. Most of them were knocked out anyway. Other ninjas came to help as well, but they were all shocked and impressed with Naruto's display of power. Good job, Naruto Uzumaki, Yugao told him. Naruto, you did a great job, Iruka said with a kunai still sticking from his shoulder. What are you doing here? Iruka-sensei, you have to go to the hospital now! One of the clones forcibly grabbed Iruka and jumped away, going to the hospital. Wait! I can walk by myself! No, be quiet now! I wonder who's behind all this, Shino's dad said. Ibiki and Inoichi will have a field day with these many people to interrogate, Yugao said, looking at the fallen mercenaries. Where should we even take them? One of Naruto's clones asked, bewildered. We should wait for Shizune's orders. She's Lady Tsunade's advisor after all. Right. Naruto's clones kept on restraining the mercenaries. Danzo knelt on the bloody ground of the alcove. He was clipping his metal arm seals back in place. Fu was lying on the ground, breathing heavily. His mask was broken, exposing a wounded face. I cannot believe it took all that to take down a measly shadow clone. Rejoice, it was a measly shadow clone. Otherwise, we would all be dead. Nashi didn't make it either. The three of us are the only survivors, Torune said after checking the pulse of a dead Root Anbu member. A shadow clone took down almost 40 of us. That's over half of the Root Anbu forces. This day extracts a heavy toll. We must retreat deeper into the shadows. I will have to leave the village and go to exile for the time being. For if I die, the Root ideals die with me. And if he returns in person, we won't be so lucky. Fu, you will take my place until I return. I will trust you to conduct the Root matters adequately and to make sure we are not linked to this catastrophe. Distance ourselves from tonight's incident. Fu used the transformation jutsu, assuming the form of his lord. If he returns in person, I'm ready to make the ultimate sacrifice. My lord, I know you are. Clean Scan this place before you leave, Danzo said, weaving hand seals. Fu recognized those. It would activate the corrosion seal the Root had imprinted on the mercenary army. They did it through the supplies they provided to the mercenaries. The food was infused with a powerful chakra corrosion seal that remained dormant in the body for 72 hours until activated. That way, they could dispose of the army whenever they pleased. It was lethal against most people. You needed an above-average chakra pull to survive the jutsu. That's why they made sure to recruit either mildly powerful ninjas or mercenaries with no ninjutsu prowess. It was also easier to manipulate weaker people like them. Ninja art. Hidden seal release. Corrosive decay. Danzo emitted his chakra towards the bandit army. Once Naruto finished tying up all the fallen mercenaries, he realized he was exhausted. He released the Shadow Clone Jutsu and waited for any further instructions as more and more Leaf ninjas flocked to the scene. Naruto could hear them buzzing about what he himself had just done, defeating the entire army by himself. An explosion of screams erupted from the tied bandits. They wreathed in agony as their skin turned gray and their muscles deflated. A few seconds later, the screams ceased as abruptly as they began, casting an eerie silence to that patch of the forest just outside of the Leaf Village. All 5,000 of them were dead. Bodily corrosion jutsu, Shino's dad said. I didn't do that! Naruto said, horrified. Of course not. This jutsu was probably imprinted on them before they even attacked. Someone wants to make sure we don't get any intel from them. Naruto looked at the sea of corpses and had to force himself not to retch. It was terrifying. Evil. But there was nothing he could have done about that. He couldn't have saved them. Besides, they chose to attack the village, and he had no idea about that corrosion jutsu. Pervy sage, Naruto remembered. Sakura and him were at the hospital, gravely wounded. Naruto could only hope Shizune and the other medics will be able to save them. Watch part 43 right here and like the video so we can reach 4,000 likes. That would be really cool. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, and don't forget to ring notifications so that you know when the next rewrite comes out. We're going to start the Itachi Pursuit arc next, so be excited. Don't forget to comment what you thought about this episode, and thank you so much for watching, guys.